YouTube is measuring audience retention. Audience retention is the percentage amount that people watch, and it is one of the biggest metrics on YouTube by which success can be judged. I've managed to increase my audience retention from about 30% to 50% using the updated VET formula, and I want to share that today with you. So, are you ready? Hey entrepreneur, it's Salma Jaffrey from salmajaffrey.com, and you are in the right place if you want to grow your personal brand with video. Click the red subscribe button and the bell, and let's begin. So the updated version of the video engagement timeline looks like this. So I've revised some of the timings on this because attention spans are getting shorter and competition is getting tougher. So let's see how the timeline breaks down for you to script your videos to increase audience retention. So your opening hook needs to be no more than 10 to 20 seconds. So remember, the hook is your promise of your title, so people need to know immediately they're in the right place. And I made an entire video about how to have a really good opening hook, and that video you can watch right up here. I'll link it. The next bit is your title sequence, and this should be no more than 5 seconds. Yes, you heard that right. 5 seconds, guys, because this is mostly for you. It's your branded intro and sort of introduces your channel or your video. In fact, I want to know, what do you guys feel about doing away with a branded intro completely? I'm going to put a poll up here and let me know what you think. Should my videos have a title sequence where I introduce the show, or do you think I can do away with that? I would love to hear your thoughts on it. And again, having a title sequence is not mandatory. It's something that helps to brand the show, but it's not always required. But if you're gonna put one, make it no more than 5 seconds. Next up is your intro. Now this is your personal intro, who you are and why you're qualified to be here and teaching this topic. So this should not be more than 15 seconds. Practice it if you need to, but you're basically just going to introduce yourself, add in a credibility trigger here about why you're qualified. If you want to watch my video on how to introduce yourself and add credibility triggers, let me link that right up here so you can go and watch that after this video. And basically, you want to also add in your first call to action here, which is to ask people to subscribe and then click on the bell notifications so that YouTube actually notifies them when you are releasing new videos. So you want to get all of that packed into about 15 seconds. Which brings us to our main body. So you actually want to get into the meat of your content within the first 40 minutes. So did I say 40 minutes? 40 seconds to 60 seconds, right? So 40 to 60 seconds, you want to be into the topic. You want to start with your whatever the first step is, or the first point is, or the meat of your content is. I like to start with like steps and things because it just makes it easier to script the video that way. But you want to get into the heavy stuff about 40 to 60 seconds into your video. All right, so now tell me, how long does it take for you to get into the meat of your content? How many minutes into your video before you get into the main topic? Tell me in the comments below. Now, as you get into the meat, I like to have like a problem solution framework, right? So as I'm talking about step 1, I'm first talking about what the problem is that step 1 is solving, and then giving the solution for step 1. So whether you're doing steps or tips or hacks or whatever way you're formatting this, you want to make sure that you tell people why it's important and then what to do with that information, the solution or the reason for how to go about solving that. At the halfway mark of your videos, you want to have what I like to call an engagement hook. So you had your opening hook, now you want an engagement hook. Now you can have 3 types of engagement hooks. So the first engagement hook is to ask people a question and ask them to leave the answer in the comments. So they're engaging with you and you ask them a question that's relatively easy for them to answer and also quick. The second kind of engagement hook is to point people to watch another video using an info card. Like I often do, I put up an info card, and the place to put your info card typically is just when the majority of people drop off your video. So how do you know what that is? You go into your YouTube analytics and you look at your average view duration. Now mine is 3 minutes, 56 seconds in the last 28 days. So I'm going to put an info card around the 3 minute, 30 second mark. So just a little bit before the average view duration point is, because I know if people are going to stop watching after that, I'm giving them a reason to keep watching another video of mine using the info card linking right up here. And the third kind of engagement hook I like to add is to give people a reason to keep watching. So for example, I could say keep watching till the end because you're going to get a free download or a free template or a freebie or some big reveal. So you want to give them a good reason to keep watching till the end of your video. Next up, you want to continue the meat of your content, the body, and then wrap up with a CTA. So your call to action is super important to tell people what to do next. And now I like to do typically 2 or 3 calls to action at this point. The first and most important one is to download a lead magnet and become an email subscriber. So I'll put that in with the end screen like I'm doing right here and ask people to go download my free YouTube masterclass. So that's something you can do. Then I'm probably gonna link up a video that you could watch next, and of course subscribe to my channel. So those are the kinds of calls to action you could put in your end cards. Remember to go after what you want and build a brand you love, because you can be the media.